Hi, this is Chong Kim. Welcome back to Space Invaders, and let's see where we left off. Oh, okay. So everything seems like it's working, and we're able to move our cannon. Okay, so let's take a look at the code. See script. Okay, there's a lot of problems. Before we do anything, I want to modify something here first. I want to modify this line of code, which speeds up the aliens. So this way it doesn't eat our CPU when we're waiting on changes. Okay, so now you can see on the left-hand side that JS hint is giving all these warnings, and eventually we want to get rid of all of these. But more importantly, looking at the code, it looks really bad because you have global variables, you have CSS and HTML related code um, in here, and so yeah, here's like HTML and here's CSS selectors. So it's very hard to read. So we want to clean this up. All right, so let's start by grouping these into their different objects and group all their related functionality into one place and some of the variables into one attribute, into the attributes of the object. So let's list all the items. So we have a bullet, we have a game, we have the alien. The game is where all the variables are and keystrokes and stuff like that. That's the state of the game. Okay, and we also have the cannon. All right, probably the easiest thing to do is do the cannon. So we'll start with that first, since that's the way we started. So we'll say class, not class, function, cannon. Okay, this is how you can define a class. And all right, so I'm going to keep this up. I'm going to split the window and keep this up. And we're going to look for hash cannon and make our changes. So let's see. This is getting the cannon's left position. So instead what we'll do is we'll just store the left position here. It'll just to be filled. We don't know what this is yet. So let's just put it at 0 for now. And so we don't actually need this. Okay. Let's see. Let's look for the cannon. Here's cannon. And this is moving left. So that would be a method. So we would say cannon prototype move left. Okay. So what this will do is this left, we would subtract, and instead of using a hard-coded number, I'm just going to say step, and we're going to define step later. And then we update this CSS. So this image, we'll have an image associated with this object, and CSS, we'll say the left is now this left. Okay, so that's all there is to it. So over here, we'll set the step to be 3. Okay, and that's what the D is for. So like in this code, if we go back up here, we have D equals 3, and that was the step. So we get rid of some of these like unnecessary variables. Okay, so far so good. Let's take a look. Okay, so we can just replace this now with cannon.move. This is left, so left. And this is cannon.move right. All right. But we're assuming that there is a cannon, so we'll just have a variable here called cannon. And initially set to null. Okay. And when we create the cannon, this is where then it will be set. Okay. Actually, let's create the cannon now. All right. So cannon is equal to new cannon. All right. So when we're creating the cannon, there's actually no information on this page about how the cannon is created, and that's because we had that code kind of spread out, which is not a very good idea. Because, okay, so if we take a look at the index.html, we see that, we look for cannon, we see that the cannon is embedded inside of the game, and here's the image for the cannon. So I'm just going to get rid of that and put that as part of the constructor. So here's the cannon, and we can just we might as well just open this up now. Okay, so we can say the image, create a new image, and source is images cannon PNG. Okay, so we also need to know what the left is, and that is located as part of the CSS. So let's take a look at the CSS. So that's under app styles, main CSS, SCSS. So let's look for cannon. Okay, so normally when you have CSS with location information like top and left, that's good for, you know, user interface stuff. But this is actually part of the logic where it's being located. So it would be good to just put it here in case like we want to change it so that it moves, you know, it starts from the left, for example. All right, so let's just store this. So the left is 390 and the top is 571. Okay, oops, that was a step. Okay, this dot top is equal to 571. Okay, so now we can get rid of this. Oh, and position is absolute, so we'll set that up. All right, so we say that this image dot CSS, okay, position, we said it was absolute, and the left is this left, the top is this top. Okay, that's a typo right there. Okay, and we close everything. Okay, so this should be good to, yeah, this should replace that piece of code. All right, so getting back to here, looking for cannon. Let's go from the very top and look for hash cannon. Okay, so here's looking for the width, and if we have the cannon, then we can say cannon image client width, and that should take care of that. Okay, and actually over here, the left is actually the cannon left, and the top is the cannon top. Okay, and this is the cannon's image client height. Okay. Okay, so this makes it a little bit easier to read. All right, let's see if there's any more. Okay, no more cannons. So that should, let me save. Okay, and let's take a look. Okay, it's not there. Oh, the reason why it's not there is because we need to add that into the game. So if we go back here, we have the image. We create the image and we have all the properties, but it's not placed into the browser. So we can do that by saying game append this image. So now this image is going to be part of the DOM. Okay, so we go back. Okay, so we can move. Oh, the right is not working. All right, so let's see, why is the right not working? Oh, because we don't have a function for move right. We only made move left. So let's change that to right, and we add a step instead. Okay, save. All right, so now we can move left, we can move right, we can fire. Okay, so it's been successfully refactored. Okay, great. So let's go back to here, and we can take that off our to-do list. Cannon is done. Okay, So let's do the bullet. So we'll do the same thing. We'll look for bullet. Let me see, cannon. Okay, these are all the cannon stuff. So now we can just start with the bullet. And this, oh, well, we don't know what this is. Okay. Okay, so we'll put this over here this way. When we split, we can look for bullet. Let's go from the top and look. Okay, so bullet, where am I? Okay, that's where I am. All right, so what this is saying is if the bullet exists, and this is an example of having way too much logic for what it's doing, because this is getting all the bullets. There's only going to be one, but this returns an array of all the hash bullets that it found. Then gets the length to see how many there are, and if there's more than 0. But this is all it's saying is just if the bullet exists. So first thing we will do is same thing with the cannon. We will create a bullet object here, and let's look for that bullet here. And this is saying if the bullet exists, so we can just say bullet. So if the bullet exists. Okay, if the bullet exists, and this is saying that the top is going to move up. So this is just the same thing as saying bullet move up. We haven't written that yet, but we will. Okay, so let's write that. So this is an instance method, so we do the prototype on it, and we're going to call it move up. Okay, and takes no arguments, and this dot top, now we subtract, we'll do the same thing, we'll say step, and then we'll say this image CSS. This time we do the top and this top. All right, so that should take care of it. We'll remember to put step here as, see, what is the step? By 3. So we'll just say 3. Okay. All right. So these 3 lines go away. Okay. This says on every 5th tick, we are going to swap the image. So this way it animates the bullet as it moves across. It's going to switch between image A and image B. All right. So let's create a method called choose image. And it takes in the tick. So depending on the tick. So if tick is every 5th tick, okay, so we're just replicating what we have here, then change the source. So okay, so first this should actually have the image. Okay, so let's set up the image. So okay, so let's go up here, and we see this image is, so there's going to be a set of images. The first one is going to be bullet a.png, and the second one is images bullet b.png. Okay, and we need to keep track of which one we're showing. So we'll say image index is equal to 0. Okay, and let's create the image, and let's move this up here. Okay, so this dot image is new image, and this dot image source is this images image index. Okay, so it'll be whatever happens to be the current image, which is bullet A. Okay, we also have to put this into the DOM by saying game append this image. Okay, so this makes it real. So we have the image. Oh, we also have to set the position. Okay, we'll worry about the position when we get to it, but this part of it where we specify which image Okay, so it's right here. Okay, so let's finish the logic. Okay, so every fifth tick, we're gonna switch this image index 1 minus this image index. Okay, so if it's a 1, it'll be a 0. If it's a 0, it's a 1. Okay, and then we just set the image source. So this image source is equal to images, oh, this image index. I'm going to change up there too. So it's not just regular image index, it's this image index. Okay. Okay, so that takes care of the swapping of the image. So now I can just say bullet choose image based on the tick. Okay, so we can get rid of that. All right, looks a little bit better. Okay, for this, we're passing the position of the bullet, but we don't need to. So let's just take that out, and when we get to alien hit, we'll fix it. Actually, we can fix it now because alien hit is up here somewhere. Okay. So we don't need to know the bullet position because it's a global variable, an attribute of bullet. So when we see bullet position left, it's just bullet left. And this is bullet left. And this is bullet top. And this is bullet top. Okay, so this should keep everything the same. So now we look for bullet again. Now we need to remove the bullet. Removing the bullet is actually a two-step process. One is removing the image itself from the DOM. And we have a global variable that has a bullet, and we need to set that to null. So the best way is just to create a function called remove bullet, because we're doing it twice down here as well. Okay, and then just replace this with remove bullet. Okay, so this is not an attribute of the bullet class, so it's just a regular function. So remove bullet. Okay, and so we get the bullet image. So we have the bullet image, and we just remove. This is using jQuery. And then we can just set the bullet equal to null. Okay, so that should take care of the bullet. So let's see. Okay, so the next thing is the bullet length is greater than 0. This means if the bullet exists, so bullet. Okay, so we get rid of this. And the bullet's top position is less than 0, so we can just say bullet top. Okay, all right. Actually, this reads a lot. Yeah, I took out a lot of code. So this reads a little bit better. All right, let's take a look again. Okay, so bullet length is equal to 0. So this means that if the bullet doesn't exist. So we could say not bullet. Okay, and since we have an if and an if condition here, this is actually a combination of saying this, putting an and get rid of all this thing in between. Okay, all right. So let's see what's going on here. Oh, this is creating the bullet. All right, so we need to go look at the bullet constructor now. So what we want to say here is bullet is equal to new bullet. So, and when we do that, we want everything to be set up. So the first thing is we want to introduce the bullet into the DOM. So that's actually what this does right here. It's everything but the ID. And we don't need the ID because we have the variable holding onto the image. All right. So this we don't need because that's done. Oh, we need to play the sound. So let's just move that up here and play the sound. Okay, so whenever it gets constructed, it'll play a sound. The next thing is, this is setting the bullet position. So we need to set the bullet's position here. So what is the left? So this dot, actually let's move this a little bit. This is just to be more consistent with everything else. So the left is we have the cannon. Actually, I could just probably just take this and put it here and just reformat this. Is this left is equal to cannon left with some calculation here, and this top is equal to cannon top plus some calculation. Okay, so we have the left and top. So we also need to set the CSS for it too. So okay, we might as well do it here. So this image. All right, so position is absolute, and the left is this left, and the top is this top. All right, so this takes care of all of this stuff. So we don't need this anymore. Okay, so we can actually put this in one line. I don't know if that's a good thing, but actually it makes sense, because if the left key is pressed down, then you want to move left. If the right one, then you want to move right. If it's a space bar and there's no bullet, then you do this. Okay, so it's a bit easier to read. All right, so let's see if everything still works. Okay, I save. Okay, and then let's go back. Oh, the bullet still works, and everything is working just the same as before. But let's take a look at the code. Okay, so I'm going to open this up so we can now see the code a little bit better. So the bullet has been done. We also need the alien, which is probably where most of the code is going to be. And we need to fix the game. Okay, so here we have, just looking at just half the screen, this part of the screen, we can see all the things that a cannon is capable of doing and all the attributes. So we know it's located here. We know that it's in steps of 3. Here's the image of the cannon. Let's see. This is how you move left. This is how you move right. Okay. And here's the bullet. So it fits right on the screen, so it doesn't keep on going. So here we have all the usual setups. Move up. Okay. So it's still readable. Now this is up to the part of the code. Actually, I want to make sure that everything that we've written so far doesn't have any JS hint errors. Okay, so it's saying that if I move my, usually if I move my cursor down, it tells you the warning. But the warning is that I'm missing a semicolon. Okay, so let's just save it. Okay, so everything is clear up to that point, and all this hasn't changed. Okay, so let's see, create aliens, and this looks a little bit. I don't think we've touched this code. Yeah, I don't think we've touched this code, so this is on our to-do list. Okay, alien hit. Okay, this is simplified a little bit because we're not passing in a parameter anymore, and it's referring to just a bullet. Still a lot of code because it refers to alien, and we haven't refactored alien yet. Okay, we still have global variables. All right, now let's take a look at the draw. The draw it's a little bit easier to read, but it's still difficult because of all the other artifacts of alien, and we have a little bit of math here. Okay, so it's still alien stuff, but this is definitely a lot easier to read, because now you take a look at a bullet. It's like if there is a bullet, then we want to move it up. Then update the image and see if you hit any aliens. If you did hit an alien, then you want to. This is interesting. What does this code do? This alien tick. Okay. So this is something to, this is part of alien that we haven't refactored yet. So we should do something about this so that it would be easier to read. But the code that we changed was down here, remove bullet. So this reads, if there is a bullet, you want to keep moving up, you want to switch the image, you want to see if the alien is hit. If the alien is hit, then you want to remove the alien and remove the bullet. Okay. And if you have a bullet that went out of bounds, then remove the bullet. and it fits very nicely. I think before there was a lot of code, and we managed to remove a lot. And you can see down here that if you press the left key, move left. If you press the right key, then move the cannon right. And if you press the space bar and there is no bullet, then create a new bullet. So very simple. And so I think this is good for now. And for the next episode, I'll refactor the game and the alien, and then we can see what the end result of all this refactoring would look like. And then once it's refactored, then we want to be then it should be a lot easier to make any kind of changes, because before there was so much stuff to wait around. But you can see when it's slimmed down like this, it's easier to add stuff and know that things will work correctly. So see you next time.